What is up, everybody? Today we are going to be putting a Holosun Optic on a SIG X-5 Legion, and I came into some headaches with it all, and hopefully this video will save you some time. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's take the recoil spring out and everything else. I'm going to take this out. Now I've already removed the plate. Okay, so it's typically sitting there. That has been removed, and I will show you how to get to those screws. We're going to use some kind of Allen key or something like that to remove this back slide plate. And then we're just going to go ahead and remove this pin assembly right here. We're going to remove the extractor spring. And then for a quick view, let me make sure I can show you this. Then you can actually get to both the bolts underneath. Okay, so now that we have access to those bolts, typically you're going to have these tiny screws right here, these tiny screws, and once you remove those screws from these holes, okay, you'll be able to unscrew the plate. All right, so now that we've removed the iron sights plate, I just wanted to give you a quick few notes on what I did. So in regards to removing the plate, okay, you would just remove these screws. Here's a headache that I ran into. So right here, I have all different sets of Allen wrenches, and none of these Allen wrenches did the job. So first off, I will tell you that it's standard, okay? However, it takes a special standard Allen wrench to remove that. So to remove those bolts, you need to have a 5/64 size Allen wrench. All right. The ones that come standard on the wrenches that you buy in a store typically are like 3/32 or 7/64. So now that this has been removed, we're going to go ahead and start installing the plate. On a side note, when you're removing this plate and you're using your 5/64 inch Allen wrench, these are Loctited in very securely, to the point where I didn't want to use this one, because if you look closely at this, it's kind of rounded. It's had some use, all right? So you want typically a fresh Allen wrench to do this, because if you were to strip these screws coming out, you'd be in a world of hurt. You'd be in a world of trouble, and you'd be spending probably days and some money getting them removed. So whenever I was removing these screws, I went ahead, I put this in here, and then I had to use a pair of pliers to get extra torque on this, and I put the pliers onto the Allen wrench and gave it like a strong quarter turn to break free the Loctite. And that did the trick. Then you can remove the screws. Okay, so we have the slide reassembled. We have the trigger pin assembly reinstalled along with the extractor spring. Okay, so for the next thing we want to talk about is that if you have a newer SIG, I don't know what the older ones are like, but if you have a newer SIG X-5 Legion, okay, your holes should look like this, okay? And these holes will allow you to mount a Holosun if you have the right screws, preferably, and I suppose anything else, okay? So I can't really go into detail on what all the holes are for. I know these rear back ones are for just the stock iron sight plate. However, these ones right here will allow you to directly mount a Holosun onto your gun slide. However, I still recommend a plate. And this is where I get into the next portion of the video. So originally I ordered this from C&H Precision's SGX, R1P, RSH, DT, which is an adapter plate, okay, that allows you to put a Holosun on here, but also it allows you to put a rail or a slot so you can put in your old iron sight, so you can have a co-witness with your front sight and your back sight along with the Holosun or whatever optic that you're using. But I'm using this for USPSA, so it doesn't really matter that I have that back rear iron sight. Further, this adapter plate I think might have been for the old X-5 Legion, because whenever I put the adapter plate on, it didn't line up with these four front holes right here. I needed it to line up with these front holes, and it didn't. So I sent it back, and it took a little bit. But now I have the new plate. What you do want to get is the SG, RX, R1P, RSH, FIL, and that is a filler plate. And the filler plate is better than just directly mounting this to your X-5 Legion. And that is a problem in and of itself. You can't typically if you get this in the mail or wherever you buy it from, I got the ACSS Vulcan Holosun, which has a pretty awesome reticule. I'd recommend this Holosun above almost any optic out there, because it has like a broad ring around it, so you don't have to fish for your red dot in the middle there. It's really innovative, and only Primary Arms has it. Anyways, you get this, and in the package you have sets of screws. Those screws do not work with this slide. You need to use other screws. I had to pause the video for a second there to look up the actual screws, and I think the screws that come with your Holosun, if you're doing a Holosun, are 6-32nd or maybe 36, meaning there's 36 revolutions of the thread per inch. I am not a machinist, I am sorry. So this, long story short, the screws that come with the Holosun don't work. Okay, the screws that you do need for this slide and for this Holosun are 640 screws. And that's for your slide. If you go to a hardware store, they're not going to have them. I tried it. Unless it's like a really elaborate, highly specialized hardware store for like machine screws. But good luck with that. The good news is whenever you order this filler plate right up here from C&H Precision Weapons, so you get your filler plate, all right, but you also get sets of screws with it. So right here you have all the correct screws. And what's nice about this package is that I also got some Loctite from them. I think I might go with my regular Loctite. Go with Loctite blue, which is the medium. Don't hold me to this right now because I don't have it in front of me. But you want to go with the medium strength Loctite instead of Loctite red, which is, if you want to remove anything with Loctite red on it, you probably have to use like a blowtorch, or you have to like warm up the situation so it breaks free of the Loctite stuff. I don't know. Use Loctite blue. Anyways, the filler plate is nice because you'll be able to mount this on right here. It fills all the gaps, all right? The holes line up perfectly, okay? And what's also nice about it is that you have these points of contact that lock in the Holosun. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 points of contact to stop your Holosun from shifting or torquing and rattling loose, okay? So if you were to mount this onto the gun itself, there is a bit of a gap. So your slide will be cycling and then your bolts are going to be wiggling loose, but you also only have 2 points of contact. So whenever you put this on, again, fits perfectly. That's really nice machining on their part. You have 4 points of contact. You take your 640 screws, Let's just assume that these are those screws, okay? Because I haven't done this yet. You're gonna put some Loctite on them, you're gonna screw it in, and you should be done. Then you should be able to put your gun all back together. So these are all the parts. I hope it saves you a headache if you take the same journey that I take. Thanks for watching.